What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm doing the FIFA World Cup European qualifiers predictions. Let's start with Finland and Kazakhstan. Finland's last game was against Wales and they drew 0-0, whilst Kazakhstan played Ukraine and drew 2-2. Finland are in third in Group D, Kazakhstan fifth in Group D. They both haven't got a win yet. So this prediction, I'm saying it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Ireland, Azerbaijan. Ireland's last game, late excitement for Portugal to beat Ireland 2-1 Portugal. 2 late goals, Ronaldo missed a penalty. So Ireland lost 2-1. Was Azerbaijan played against Luxembourg and lost 2-1. Ireland 4th, Azerbaijan 5th. Both teams haven't got a win yet. I'm saying Ireland are going to win 2-0. We move on to Latvia, Norway. Latvia's last game, they beat Gibraltar 3-1. Norway, they drew 1-1 with Netherlands. Norway in 4th, Latvia in 5th. I think Norway will win 3-1. We move on to Serbia, Luxembourg. Serbia, their last game, well, they didn't play in the qualifiers last game. They done a friendly because they done match day 3 and they haven't had their match day 4 yet because there's 5 teams in their group. So their last game in the qualifiers, they beat Azerbaijan 2-1. Their last game, they beat Qatar 4-0. Luxembourg, their last game, they beat Azerbaijan 2-1. Serbia is in 2nd, Luxembourg in 3rd. I think Serbia will win this game 1-0. We move on to Cyprus versus Russia. Cyprus's last game was against Malta, where they lost 3-0 and got a red card. Russia's last game, they played Croatia and drew 0-0. I think Russia will win this game 3-0, whilst Russia's in 2nd and Cyprus is in 6th. Slovenia versus Malta. So Slovenia, their last game was against Slovakia and they drew 1-1. Malta's last game, they played Cyprus 1-3-0 while Cyprus is down to 10 men. I think Slovenia will win this game 2-0. We move on to Netherlands, Montenegro, which is still today. And Netherlands' last game was against Norway and they drew 1-1. Whilst Montenegro, they played Turkey and drew 2-2. I think whilst Netherlands in 2nd and Montenegro's in 3rd, Netherlands are going to win 4-0 over Montenegro. Faroe Islands versus Denmark. Faroe Islands, their last game was against Israel, which they lost 4-0. Denmark, their last game, they won 2-0 against Scotland. I think it's going to be an easy win for the team in 1st place against the team in 5th place. Denmark 5, Faroe Islands 0. Gibraltar versus Turkey. Gibraltar's last game, they lost to Latvia 3-1. Turkey, their last game, they drew 2-2 with Montenegro. Turkey in 1st, Gibraltar in 6th. Turkey are going to win 3-0. Ukraine versus France now. Ukraine's last game, they played against Kazakhstan and drew 2-2. France's last game, they played against Bosnia and Herzegovina and they drew 1-1 with 10 men. I think France will win this game 3-1. Israel versus Austria. Israel, their last game, they played against Faroe Islands and won 4-0. Austria's last game, they played against Moldova and won 2-0. I think Austria will win this game 2-0. Slovakia, Croatia. Slovakia's last game they drew 1-1 with Slovenia. Croatia's last game they drew 0-0 with Russia. I think Croatia will lose this one 2-1 to Slovakia. Scotland, Moldova. Scotland's last game they lost 2-0 against Denmark. Moldova's last game they lost 2-0 to Austria, so both teams lost, but I think the 4th place team will come over the 6th place team, so Scotland will win 2-0. Now we move on to tomorrow's games. Belarus, who played Czech Republic and lost 1-0, against Wales, who played Finland and drew 0-0. I think Wales will win this game 5-2. Iceland, North Macedonia. Iceland's last game they lost 2-0 against Romania. North Macedonia drew 0-0 with Armenia. I think Iceland will win this game 1-0. Albania versus Hungary now. Albania's last game they got smashed 4-1 against Poland. Hungary got smashed 4-0 against England. Hungary were racist when they played against England, but this time at least they're not at home. I think Albania will win this 2-0. England play Andorra tomorrow. England, as you saw, won 4-0 against Hungary. Andorra won 2-0 against San Marino. I think England will win this game 8-0. Bulgaria, Lithuania. Bulgaria's last game they drew 1-1 with Italy. Lithuania's last game they lost 4-1 against Northern Ireland. I do think it will be a 2-2 draw. Spain, Georgia. Spain's last game they lost 2-1 to Sweden. Georgia's last game they lost 1-0 to Kosovo. Spain will probably smash Georgia 3-0. Germany versus Armenia. Germany's last game they beat Liechtenstein 2-0. Armenia's last game they drew 0-0 with North Macedonia. It's going to be a 3-0 victory to Germany. Switzerland versus Italy now. A rematch from the group stage in the Euros. But Switzerland didn't play in the World Cup qualifiers yesterday. On the 1st or the 2nd. So yeah, basically 2 days ago or 3 days ago. So their last World Cup qualifiers game was a 1-0 win over Lithuania. Their last actual game they beat Greece 2-1. I think and then Italy, their last game they drew 1-1 with Bulgaria. I think Italy will win 2-1 over Switzerland. San Marino versus Poland. San Marino's last game they lost 2-0 to Andorra. Poland beat Albania 4-1. I think Poland will win 5-0. Belgium, Czech Republic. Belgium's last game they beat Estonia 5-2. Czech Republic's last game beat Belarus 1-0. I think Belgium will win 1-0. Romania, Liechtenstein. Romania's last game they beat Iceland 2-0. Liechtenstein lost to Germany 2-0. I think Romania will win 2-0. And then Kosovo versus Greece. Kosovo's last game they they beat Georgia 1-0. Greece, their last qualifiers, drew 1-1 with Georgia. Last game lost 2-1 to Switzerland. I think Greece will win this game 2-0. So that's the end of the predictions. I'll see you all very soon.